It's been a long time, but my time is finally here. I really hope this thing is going out to you. Hello everyone. Hey look, it's my face on the screen. Tell me, how is the sound doing? Cause I have a new mic. It's right here. And no one's gonna bend or break it, cause I broke the other one. I hope this works. How is everybody? Let me know. Can you hear me on this mic? Is this good? Because I broke my last mic, and so I don't know if this is if this one actually works well. So please let me know if I need to turn it up, boost it, anything like that. Is it a little bit low? Let's see. I can turn it up a little bit. Is that better for everybody? Can you hear me better there? Is that better? Yes, no, maybe so. Let me know how it sounds to everybody. Let's see. Oh, that sounds like it's... Yeah, you're right. That is peaking. Sorry, but we're gonna... Let's see. If I do that, but then boost this, is that gonna help? Is it... Testing 1, 2, 3. How does this sound? Okay. This sound better, or is this worse for everybody? Sorry, I'm trying to play. Sorry, new mic, so we're playing with it. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you, This Glorious Clockwork. How bees you? Coolio. Alright, cool. Let me pop this out. Sorry, I'm like trying to this out. There we go. Let me set this up and we'll hang out. There. Oh, gotta turn off my sound so I don't hear myself weirdly talking to myself. Ah, too many things to do while live. It's so crazy. Yeah, I had to get a new mic because I was a dummy. And there's a cord here on this mic right here. But on the other one, there was another cord that was like long and wrapped around. And I backed out and I pulled the mic with me and it broke it. So, so hopefully this will be good here. If you guys can't hear me or anything happens, let me know down in the chat. So yes, hello everybody. How is everyone doing? I had a little bit of news, so that was fun. I got a new job. Thank you everybody for sending congratulations. I also do want to say, I did not expect this much as well, but so many people like donated on PayPal and like upped or like contributed to Patreon. Thank you so much. I mean, regardless of whether you were donating or helping financially or anything like that, like just, I really appreciate this community. I really appreciate your kindness and support. It is way more than I ever expected it to be. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. It really does mean a lot, and it really will help with this move. Like, honestly, like, I have some financial fear with this job, but like with a lot of the help that you guys gave, I really do appreciate it. This one is actually not out of the box new in terms of mics, by the way. Someone was asking about that. This is actually, I bought it off of somebody, so it's a little bit cheaper, thankfully. So I really do appreciate it, everybody. So thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure I said that up front because it really does mean a ton. It really, really does. I feel weird about it sometimes because I don't feel like I've earned it in any way. I know you guys will disagree, so but this is just a brain thing, as most things are, I would presume. But I don't feel like I deserve it, and so I have to fight that feeling and just say thank you, instead of just being like, no, why, get away from me, stop helping me. I do appreciate it. So. Also, yes, Jason, you said your name. You didn't hear your name at the end of the video. I will say, if you expect to hear your name at the end of the video, Patreon is weird because I'm just gonna complain about Patreon a little bit, just not people on Patreon, the system of Patreon and the company. The back end is weird because it charges everybody the first day or two of the month. Then it gives me a list of all the benefits that everyone should get. Like, okay, it charges everyone. Here's everyone that gets charged, and then it gives me a list of like, all right, everyone, these people and their name should get this benefit. So like your name appears in the video, and then what was I? But weirdly, like I do I make the Patreon call out video at like 3 or 4 days after Patreon happens, after Patreon gives me that list. And invariably, every single time, they've missed someone, and they like another person like randomly pops up on the list. It just every single time, it just drives me insane. And so I have to like remake the video. I'm like, I finally got everyone. I've wasted enough time. It's just so frustrating. So yeah, Patreon's back end system is awful. Oh, thank you so much, Marg. I really appreciate that. You are wonderful. Well, I appreciate your investment. You are absolutely wonderful. I really do appreciate that. And yes, Patreon management is very frustrating, Council. And I didn't say hi to everybody, by the way. I'm sorry. Hi, R. McDudd. Hello, Some Random. Hello, Homebody, Marg, Corey, Council. Ron Harris, good to see you. Leah, Cappuccino, Jason, Benny, Punk Rock Zoologist, Cass the Last Homebody. I'm sure I'm missing more people. The Amazing Lee, Miss Wicked Wolf. Hello to everybody. It is good to see all of you. I really do appreciate it. So, yeah, Patreon's backend system, Some Random. I don't know. It's very wonky and very like feels like it's propped up by sticks. In the back end. So if anyone does ever get missed, I do appreciate it. So just like let me know if you get missed or something in the back end, because I will try my best to fix that. Life Just Works. You should rename your channel to Life Just Works. I do like This Glorious Clockwork, but Life Just Works is it hits the nail on the head more. But I do like This Glorious Clockwork. It's very much like your like brand of beautiful, like life is beautiful sort of thing. So yes, I just want to say thank you, everybody. I spoke mostly about the new job in my video today, but I am just so excited about it. Like, it's gonna be nice to have like a job that I like feel like very encouraged by and get to do nerdy, geeky, weird stuff. So yeah, it should be absolutely fun. Sorry, I'm just reading kind words from everybody. Apologies, I'm getting stuck in my head. Normally I'm more on it, but I'm very in my head today about the job and about moving, and there's just like a lot of like feelings like and touched by everyone giving today, and I'm so excited and scared because I know that there's a risk involved, especially with it not being a full-time thing immediately. But I just kind of am so pumped to do it. So I don't know. I've already said everything I need to say in the video, but it's just to be honest with you, I am so excited to be moving back to Seattle. Like I talked about this in the video. Like last night I actually Skyped or called a friend of mine that I was friends with in my improv group up there when I was there the first time, and it was just nice to see him and like it just like be like, oh cool, I still have friends up there. There's still people that I can like hang out with up there. There's many more of you, hopefully, that I will get to meet while I'm up there at some point. Mopop, I'll be able to like meet people who are nerdy and work with people who are nerdy, because the sad thing is like, with some exceptions, there have been a few people, This Glorious Clockwork being one of them, but for the most part, the people that I've worked with in my life have been very wonderful people, but not nerds at all, even remotely close to being a nerd. So I've always just been like, yeah, let me talk about Star Trek, and they're like, good for you, buddy. I'm excited to work at a place that's just going to be nerdy, and also that I can be like a video producer at. Like I love producing stuff like for this channel. And it is, I do tend to think I try and keep my quality high and everything high and do producerial work, like getting people to come and do things with me on the channel. So it's not like I don't do producerial work, but I'm also excited to do like higher budget productions. Like the Museum of Pop Culture does like concerts and things with like big name people and stuff like that. They do their own conventions. Like I'm so excited to have that opportunity to like do cool video work. And it will be behind the scenes mostly, but at least my presumption will be behind the scenes, but maybe there'll be a chance I can try and be on camera for stuff. We'll see. Maybe I can convince them. But I doubt they will let me right away, but I'm just excited about that. And Lore Runner, thank you so much. You are insanely way too generous and insanely way too kind. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, Lore Runner. You are wonderful. So, and also in terms of excitement stuff. Sorry, this is a random aside, but tonight's the finale of Lower Decks, which I'm very saddened but excited for. So it's gonna be so awesome. And the other thing too. Sorry, my brain is just all in lovely people. My brain is all off in weird ways today. Sorry, my brain's just all over. I'm just like also pumped because, to be honest with you, like LA has been 90 degrees. Today it's a little bit less, so it's like little less than 80. But it's been like 90 degrees these past 2 weeks, and I'm just so honestly like excited to like be in a place that's going to be colder, and I get to I bought okay, this is the dumbest thing. Sorry, I'm just so excited, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not paying as much attention to the chat, but I'm just kind of like gushing and excited about too many things today. But I bought a sweater sleep dress. It's basically just a dress, but it's a sweater, and you're supposed to sleep in it. And that sounds, and I've worn it, and it's so comfy, but I haven't been able to wear it because it's been so dang hot here, and I just want to wear a cute sweater dress to bed. All right? I know that's the dumbest thing. I don't know why I'm holding my weird bar thingy, but I'm just so excited to wear a sweater dress pajamas thing. I don't know why that's the thing, but I'm just like, I bought it because I love them, and I just want it. I'm so sorry. My brain is silly. Why does anyone listen to me? My brain is ranting about that. Anyways, I promise. Let me focus on the chat. I'm so sorry. You worked at Mopop? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm sad you don't work there anymore. I live for pajamas, everybody. You don't understand. I have a whole dresser over there, and the largest drawer is for pajamas. I live in pajamas, everyone. And thank you, Council of Geeks. I love you too. So thank you. I really appreciate it. That sounded very intimate. Council, I'm sorry. I hope that didn't come across as too intimate. I love you just as a friend, all right? But no, I do adore and love you. And love you all. You are fantastic and wonderful, amazing people. So if you want to know like how much I love being cozy, like I'm literally right now underneath here, I'm wearing this is a blanket. I'm sitting here and I'm like just having a blanket party, like a blanket fort underneath here, where you can't see. So, oh gosh, see, punk rock zoologist, I could not do that. I get so hot so quickly. My ex-partner used to make fun of me all the time because I literally am just, I run hot. Like you can even, if you were to touch my skin right now, like there is warmth coming off of my skin just by touching me. So I just run really hot. So I just am always hot. Sorry, I also missed, I think someone donated. Nathaniel Robinson, thank you very much for that super chat. You are absolutely wonderful. Sending you love and hearts. And also, what is your profile picture? Nathaniel Robinson looks really cool, but I can't really make out what it is. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I stay on mic. Well, whatever your profile, tell me what your profile pic is, Nathaniel Robinson, because it looks cool. And Corey apologies, I'm going to say your name wrong. I'm very sorry. Corey Hankonen? Apologies if I said that wrong, but thank you for the super chat. And your super chat says, KT and I. Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm just making the connection from Discord. Yes. Hi. Hello, Corey. KT and I wait to watch Lower Decks till your review is out so we can watch them back to back. Oh, well, thank you. I'm honored. I'm actually honored that I'm part of your like Lower Decks ritual. You give us both so much joy, and we are so happy for your new opportunity. All I love. Also, I'm sending love to KT. I saw on the Discord that KT was having a rough day, so sending love to both of you. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I should do a PJ party for the next stream. Next stream, you'll probably see everything packed away because the goal is I'm actually going to start packing up stuff this weekend. So. Been doing a little bit video work for the Museum of Flight here in Seattle, so the announcement was very, wait, seriously? Oh, that's so cool. I know of the Museum of Flight, but I didn't have a chance to go there when I was living in Seattle before. I'm assuming that it's really, really cool. I would love to go and visit it at some point, so hopefully I will. Miss Wicked Wolf asking, do you do yoga? No, I don't. I should, because I'm very, I'm so inflexible. I know you get to wear the comfy clothing. I get the yoga. I have yoga clothing, but I don't do yoga. But I'm, so stiff all the time, That's, you got some, see my sweat there, sorry. So yeah. Yeah, I'm just always hot. I'm always hot, so I just like being cozy cold. Yeah, I'm sorry too, this glorious clockwork. I mean, the thing with leaving LA that I'm kind of mixed about, to be fair, that is that UF Buddy, by the way, that UFP flag thing right there is a trans flag with the Discovery, the 31st century, whatever thing it is right there. So I forget who made it. One of my followers on Twitter made it, and I tweeted it out their thing where you can buy them because they made a bunch of them for different identities. Much love to you in this community. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you, Jesse. Congrats on the new job. You are wonderful. I really, really appreciate it. Oh, see, Council of Geeks, now you're just hitting on me. Now you're just actually hitting on me. But yeah, no, leaving LA, I have such mixed feelings on it because, like I said in my video, I do not like LA as a city. But there are really wonderful people here, and a lot of my close friends have left LA. But the frustrating thing is that I've been lucky in this quarantine time to make some friends via this channel. I got to make friends with a few people that I've made videos with that live in LA. And I'm a bit saddened by the fact that me leaving means I won't be able to meet them in person and hang out with them in person. So that is a bit sad, but I'm also very excited to be in a place that inspires me more. That's the other thing too. And I spoke about this in my video too. I'm just so... I feel like a lot of the time when I'm making content, I am making content in spite of this place. I'm trying to use my content creation as a means to escape the world that I'm in. If it's 90 degrees out, well, I can sit in my room and write a script. And that can be its own form of encouraging, but a lot of the time I'm just kind of tired and exhausted. And I don't like working from that place, from a place of exhaustion. And so I know my output is going to change on some level just because I have this new full-time job. So I still expect, don't worry, this channel's not going to go away. I'm still have full things. I'm still going to go full bore into it. You're still going to get all this other stuff. I just know just in general because of the fact that my schedule is just going to change, the output's just going to change, and I'll figure it out as I go. But don't worry about output in terms of this channel. It'll still be here. But I'm just so excited to live in a place and be doing stuff that will inspire me, because I feel like being in an environment that inspires you helps you create better work. And so I'm just so excited to have that chance, to just live in a place that'll inspire me more and be around people that will inspire me more. Because the other thing too with this channel is I feel like I run out of ideas a little bit faster because I just haven't had the chance to bounce off of stuff. And so it's I want to create new ideas and new thoughts, and so it's kind of nice to be able to do that. So All right, sorry, I was just randomly talking. People are talking about Lorca. See, I've lost the thread of the chat. I've been ranting about myself. Everyone's talking about Prime Lorca. What are we talking about Prime Lorca for? Is everyone talking about Lorca? Jesse Gender, I was disappointed when Lorca turned out to be a villain. He should have just been a guy with PTSD. What are your thoughts? I have mixed. I did a video on Lorca way back in like 2 years ago, something like that. So my thoughts on Prime Lorca, or Lorca, I should say, from Discovery. And by the way, spoilers for Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. So if you haven't seen Season 1 of Discovery, just know I'm going to be talking about something specific, and I'll try and say it briefly here. Lorca, I actually didn't mind that Lorca turned out to be the villain. If they had humanized him a little bit better after he had come out as the villain. Because the problem was, yes, I liked that they sort of built up that he had PTSD, and they talked about his PTSD and how that changed him. I liked that storyline for him. And then you could have even still made that work when it turns out he's, here's a spoiler, from the Mirror Universe. You could show that he still has PTSD from being in the Mirror Universe. And then, like, being in the Federation, like, gave him a chance to be like, oh, okay. It doesn't have to be like that all the time. I don't have to be constantly on edge and anxious and worried about stuff. And the problem with how it turns out is once it's revealed that he's from the Mirror Universe, he literally just becomes like, let me, make the Empire great again. And like becomes like evil and wants to murder everybody. And it's just like, you could have had more nuance with that. And so I actually don't mind him being the villain. I just wish he hadn't become so over-the-top villainous once the reveal happens. I wish he had been allowed... You can even have killed him the way he did. I just wish he had had a little bit more nuance than just being over-the-top evil. So... All right. I will stop with the spoilers because a lot of people are putting their head in their ears. Fingers in their ears. So... So that's all I will do that yet. That's all I will describe. Also, by the way, did anyone else see that Elizabeth Warren is apparently watching Star Trek Discovery, and she said that Michael Burnham is her new favorite character. So, take that. The SJWs are winning. Or no one cares. That only SJWs, I guess, care what Elizabeth Warren have to say. I don't know. I can't do decent political commentary. I don't practice Tai Chi, Miss Wicked Wolf, unfortunately. Speaking of politics, I do want to make a note. It's in the video title, and we've kind of gotten off the thread of it anyways, but I do want to take a minute here. I know most of the people out in this channel are either not from America or are already going to, if they are Americans, they're going to vote anyways. But I just want to let everyone know, because I like leading by example. I got my ballot here. I have filled it out, and I'm going to be submitting it to my... to the one of the like drop-off ballot places on Friday. So I've officially voted. So I get to wear. I'm gonna put on the little sticker for the rest of this video. I can get the sticker off. But I voted. Right here. Let me not put it on my hair. One thing with transitioning is I'm still not used to hair. No one taught me how to care about hair when I was a kid. So there we go. I technically haven't voted yet because I haven't submitted it, but I will by the end of the week. And since I'm not really being public, I'm not going to be out in public all that often. I might as well wear this for the live stream. So please, if you haven't yet and can, please register to vote. I know the date has passed for a few people, but if you're an American and you have not voted yet or haven't registered to vote, make sure you do that if you still are able to. And please cast your vote. And if you want an endorsement of who to fill out, please vote for Biden. Please, 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 dear God, vote for Biden. And this is me saying, I don't love Biden. I don't think he's perfect, but dear God, he is better than the other option. So that's my thing. So don't love Biden, but he is so much better than the other option. So that's my endorsement. That's what I'm saying. Again, I shall say, like I said, I know most of my channel are probably the lefty liberals out there, the SJWs, all of you watching with me, but I say that jokingly and not disparagingly. But if you are a conservative, if you are a Republican, you're, again, welcome on this channel. You're welcome here. Welcome to join the discussion. this should not be as I think Steve Shive said it's something earlier in his video that was earlier today. I forget his exact wording. He said it so eloquently, but it's like, what about what Trump does is better when you're a Republican? I mean, Republicans make it seem better because of their rhetoric and everything, but you know, you can be a conservative and understand the horrors of who Trump is. So I will leave it there. So, and I'm also going to be watching the VP debate. Hopefully it'll be less anger-inducing than the other debate, but we'll see. Don't have too much confidence in that. So, anyways, that's my political stuff right now. So. Yes, Council Weeks. In the history book shall read the endorsement of Justin Gender helped lock in the victory for Biden. Yes, that will 100% do it. I will say I'm very excited. A bunch of the Star Trek actors are doing a show for Biden, which I'm actually very excited about. Best thing Biden did, in my opinion, is bring together the Star Trek cast for a political thing. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, Flurkin. I like that idea for Lower Decks. I'm trying to think, what would I do for... I actually do meditate, Mrs. Wicked Wolf. What would I do? I was trying to think, like, if I was going to pitch... Here's the thing I realized, if I was ever going to write for a Star Trek show, the Star Trek show I'd probably end up writing for would be Lower Decks. Because that's just the one that probably speaks to who I am most definitively. The other one, too, would actually be weirdly... I mean, I haven't seen the show, but Star Trek Prodigy, I'm actually would be very excited to write for, the Nickelodeon kids show. I don't know why, but I have just a weird, like, desire to see what that show ends up being, and kind of am excited about it. But I don't know. I feel like my Lower Decks episode actually would have been very similar to this episode that they just did, which was a holodeck episode, but it would, my pitch would be, if I'm pulling up one, would be one where it's like everyone's just having a happy day. We emphasize at the top of the episode, like, everyone's just a really cool people. Everyone loves optimism and nothing bad happens. And then, like, the alien, like the xenomorph, gets on the ship and just horrible stuff happens. And it's just awful. And everyone's just trying to stay upbeat during all of it. I think that would be kind of fun. But they already kind of did that briefly in the one episode where Mariner has that flashback. So, you know what? My ideas are pointless. Did you see my question? I missed your question, Bionicle Man. What was it? Other options. Sorry, what was it? If you could restate it for me, I can't find it for some reason. If you could restate it for me, I will happily do it. Are you part of any of the entertainment unions? Harry Garrison asked. No, I probably could have if I had really fought for it and tried to finagle it. I probably could have joined the Editors Guild. But I never had a reason to, because all the companies I was at offered the benefits I needed and everything, and I wasn't in like a necessary union job. Like I've edited trailers and things, but I wasn't like editing shows or anything like that. So there wasn't really a strong need for it or anything like that. So I probably could have fought for the editors union. I don't think I would have qualified for anything else. Like, I wouldn't have qualified for the Producers Guild probably or anything like that. But I probably could have hit the hours for the Editors Guild. But no, I never really seriously considered it just because I never needed it. What was the question? Let's see. Yeah, I agree, punk rock zoologist. I actually will I want to do a video at some point, I probably will, talking about why I think Star Trek Prodigy actually might be the most important Star Trek show to come out. To be very honest with you, I would probably say right now, Star Trek Prodigy might be the most important Star Trek show. It may not be the best Star Trek show. I haven't seen it, don't know it, but I think it will be the most important, because the big problem that I see with Star Trek right now, and Strange New Worlds may fix this a little bit too, but I love Discovery. I like Picard. I don't love it, but I love Discovery. I like Picard, and I love Lower Decks. The problem with all three of those shows, with Discovery probably being the least one, but even Discovery 2, I think uh, that all of those shows are made more for Trekkies. That if you are not a Trekkie and don't know a lot of Star Trek lore, they can be a little bit off-putting and a little bit harder to get into, or at the very least, you'll know that you might be missing a piece of something. Discovery is probably the least one, and Picard a little less so too, but you do need to know, like, who Seven of Nine is, who Picard is. You do need to know the Borg. You do need to know the Romulans, the fact that the Romulan supernova blew up. You need to know who Data is. And a lot of those are, like, cultural osmosis stuff that most people will generally know, but you do need to know a lot of stuff to get into that show. Discovery also a little less so, but you still have, like, the Mirror Universe. You have the Klingons, the Klingon War. You have the Pike, Spock, all those things. And Lower Decks, as much as I love Lower Decks, that show is very much made for Trekkies by Trekkies. And less, and not, again, not that any of these shows can't be made for people who aren't Trekkies. I'm sure there are many people who watch them and enjoyed them without having any prior knowledge. In fact, my ex-partner, who is still my friend, she watches Lower Decks and she watches Star Trek Discovery, having had no real knowledge of Star Trek prior, and enjoys them. But she does know she's missing things. And so what I am excited about Prodigy for is I really feel like it's going to be a show that will allow new people to come in, allow new people to come into the Star Trek franchise to keep it going for hopefully another 50 years. And I also just kind of like the She-Ra, like as everyone's mentioning, She-Ra, Dragon Prince, Avatar, even Clone Wars. Even Clone Wars got a bit adult, but the kind of like kids vibe-y kind of show. Gravity Falls I've just started, which I'm very excited about. So, yeah. All right, Bionicle Man, you said you had your question incoming. What was it? I want to answer it. I agree, Cage, to be honest with you. Like, I love Star Trek Discovery. I even am one of the few people that will go to bat for Star Trek Discovery Season 1, even though I have problems with it. But I agree 100%. That show should not have been a prequel. Star Trek Discovery should have been probably set as a post-Nemesis show and would have probably gotten away with a lot of the stuff that people got angry at it for. But, they justified it, I think, in Season 2 and gave us a wonderful Pike and Spock. So I like it better in Season 2. But I do think from the start they probably should have said it afterwards. But don't get me wrong, that's a general criticism. I still like Discovery quite a bit. Where's your question, Bionicle Man? I wanted to answer it. I don't see it. Let's see. Do you practice mindfulness? Not as much as I should. I am aware of certain mindfulness practices, but I know I don't do it as much as I should if I'm being at all honest with everybody. I do try to meditate, but I'm not very good at it. Like, my meditation is my safe space. Like, I have to have, like, safe spaces to be able to meditate. And I don't, like, sit down and, like, breathe in and breathe out. The way that I do is I take really long showers. Is really the thing that I do. It's probably bad for my skin. But I take really, really long showers, and that's like my weird meditation and escape. So. Oh, right here. Bionicle Man. Finally, I see your question. As a Canadian citizen, I was wondering how much and how well I will be affected as an LGBTQ and disabled person. In Canada? I'm unsure what the question is, Bionicle Man. Because as a Canadian citizen, you mean if you're a Canadian citizen living in America, how much you'll be affected as a LGBTQ and disabled person? Because if that's the question, it really depends on... I can't really speak to disabled people's experience in the United States, so I couldn't really tell you too much from that end of things, to be very honest with you. Just because I can't speak for that community, and I only know a little bit about what people have told me, but I can't necessarily speak to that experience and what you would be treated like. As a queer person, I can speak to that a little bit more, and it really just depends on where you live and what community you're able to build there. Because I found in most of the major city metropolitan areas, you're almost always, not always, but generally you'll be able to find a really strong queer community there, full of people that will accept you and love you and befriend you. Again, Not always the case in certain cities, and sometimes it's harder for others depending on where in the city you live and access to transportation and things like that. And money is always a factor. Um, but generally, in metropolitan areas, you will be able to find that if you look. There's always usually a queer community. If you're living in more rural areas, again, it really depends. Even in states that are more accepting of queer people, like California, for example, even rural areas can sometimes be kind of dangerous. But I also don't want to, broad brush paint that either, because I grew up in a fairly conservative town when I was a kid. And the kids in my school were very homophobic and things like that. But and I'm assuming kids are just going to be awful to queer people in general. Not always, again, not always. But in smaller conservative towns, I would tend to think that's the case. But I will say, my small conservative town, when I did come out as trans and I've come back to visit, I've always been accepted. I only lost like one or two people who were like, you're trans, get away from me. Most of my fellow Americans, my fellow students from my high school, middle school, fully accepted me. So it really depends on the situation and place you're in, because every place is different, and the country is definitely becoming more accepting, on the whole, not always, of LGBT people. Trans people maybe less so, but even then, it depends on your area. Trans people are becoming more accepted. Maybe not by the government, and maybe not in certain areas. But I also do see a general good trajectory, and I really think it kind of depends on how this election goes, to be honest with you, on how things can change. I mean, really, to be honest, I see a path forward for America getting better, and I see a path forward where things get much, much, much worse. And I think, as annoying as it is to hinge it on one election, I really think that's the case. Not to bring it back to the politics of it, but I do think that's generally the case. I agree. It does really help to get to know people as a general person before they get, like, if people knowing me, then knowing that I was trans, that definitely helped quite a bit. So, Garrett Handley, what was your favorite neighborhood in Seattle when you lived there? That would be, I mean, I lived in the University District when I lived there before. Right now, the places that I'm looking at are in Wallingford, just because Queen Anne area is where the Museum of Pop Culture is. So I'm looking at Wallingford because that's kind of close, but it's still there. Also, a lot of my friends that I live in Seattle are in the Wallingford area, so I kind of want to stay around there. Also, the improv company that I wanted to jump back into and get involved in with again is near that area. So, because I want to get back into improv. I love improv so much. If that's not obvious by my channel sometimes. So I'm hoping Wallingford area. I didn't get to explore much of the south side of Seattle, to be very honest with you. I did work at Microsoft for a time, so I got to know Redmond a little bit, which is technically not Seattle, but it's close, which is a nice area. So I got to experience a little bit of the, east side and north Seattle, but not a ton of the south side of Seattle. And I explored some of downtown, but I didn't spend a ton of time in downtown Seattle. So from what I remember liking Wallingford and the North Seattle area really, really nicely. So. Plus the other cool thing about Seattle, I mean, Los Angeles is full of film nerds, but they can get a bit pretentious about it. It's like, I like watching Terrence Malick all the time. There, yes, film. Terrence Malick is the best. Not disparaging Terrence Malick, but like anybody who says their favorite filmmaker is Terrence Malick, and like without like an understanding slightly of the irony of that, makes me laugh a little bit. It's just a film student-y answer. Again, not disparaging Terrence Malick; he's a great filmmaker. But what I love about Seattle is there's so many nerds there. Again, not that there aren't nerds in LA, but there are so many nerds in Seattle because you got Microsoft. It's all the tech people. Tech people got Wizards of the Coast there. So yeah, it's very much the land of me. Excuse me, which I deeply appreciate it. Jim Jarmusch in LA, don't they? To be fair, the Terrence Malick thing I heard more in film school than I Uh, the I heard the Terrence Malick thing more in film school. Like, I always knew. Again, this is not disparaging people who like Terrence Malick quite a bit, but every single time when I would know that I'm working with another film student who was going to be the pretentious jerk, because you meet a lot of the pretentious jerks in film school. Some of them were teachers, or professors, I should say. If I always asked them what's your favorite filmmaker, and they said Terrence Malick, that was when I knew. I was like, okay, so you're gonna be a pretentious asshole. Cool. Yeah, they just were saying that to sound cool. Again, you can totally say, "Oh, is sound cutting in and out?" Let me hear. Let's see. Is that helpful? Let me know if that helps a little bit. I will say there was one professor in college. Oh gosh, she was a woman who loved to talk. If you had to have a conversation with her, it would be an hour long, and it would all be about her. Like if you went to her office to ask her a simple question, hour-long conversation, and it would all be about her. I simply remember one person asked her about Sundance once during a class. We actually had a curriculum. When someone asked her about Sundance, spent the whole class talking about her one experience at Sundance where she got to be on a panel that one time, and someone even recognized her as like a famous film theory person and how important she was. It was a whole hour class of just that. And she's always like, you need to be rigorous. And she's like, we're all freshmen. And she's like, yeah, you need to write like a 10, 20-page essay on this film thing, and you're never going to get an A because you're not going to be rigorous enough. Also, anyone who likes Quentin Tarantino is an idiot. Like, how these silly kids liking Quentin Tarantino. And don't be wrong, today I have problems with Quentin Tarantino. But I was very much like, if Quentin Tarantino was the filmmaker who inspired people to get into film, why not encourage that and poke them with that and try to foster that feeling of loving film rather than being like, well, you're not really a film student. Yeah, sorry. I still am salty about that professor, like 10 years later. So, anyways, sorry that I just went off on a professor that I had 10 years ago. I won't mention her name. But if anyone went to Ithaca College, if anyone here was a film student at Ithaca College, I will bet you $20 they will know instantly which professor that I was talking about. So, literally ask anyone. Let's see. What do you think about the Penny Arcade guys? Speaking of Seattle nerds, I don't know much about the Penny Arcade guys, to be very honest with you. I read Penny Arcade, but I don't know much about them personally. I know they also run a bunch of the conventions and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't really know much about them, so I can't really speak on them. Oh yes, Kara Harkins. I loved Steve doing his long laugh in his video today. Agreed. Something for those of you who didn't see, there's the video I did 3 weeks ago, something like that, where or maybe a month ago. Time is a flat circle. It makes no sense anymore. But there was a video I did a few weeks ago where the video ended. It was like one of those fake Star Trek episodes, and Steve Shives guest starred on it as Commander Racy, the sort of evil Nazi doctor on the ship. And so the end of the episode ends with just like one of those like Star Trek laugh a little bit too long moments, like ah ha 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 ah ha ha ha. And so I asked Steve to film just a really, really long laugh. Steve laughed for like 4 minutes. So I have a video of Steve Shives just laughing endlessly for 4 minutes. I didn't even use all of the video, and I wanted to. It's the funniest thing. It's like one of those jokes. It's kind of like what they did in Lower Decks. It's like one of those things where you watch it and like it's funny for a second, and then you're like, all right, this isn't funny, and then he just keeps going, and he just makes you laugh all over again. I gotta say, like, yes, Steve is an absolute hoot. Not to disparage any other of the actors in there, like Council of Geeks, who may be back hopefully sometime soon for the next video. Also, Ensign Cricket will be back. Don't worry. I know I see people mentioning Ensign Cricket. Ensign Cricket will be back. Don't you worry. I already have the next episode written. It's sent out to all the actors involved, and it will be coming before the end of the year. So, move notwithstanding. but there will be another one of those videos with Ensign Cricket before the end of the year. In fact, I hope we get it done before the end of the year because it very much relies on it being before certain events. So yes, you will see that. Thank you, some random, by the way, for sharing all this stuff. Let's see. What's your warrior cat's name? I don't know what do you mean by warrior cats? I would love to, Stavin, what do you mean by warrior cats? Because I'd love to answer that question, but I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Corey, thank you so much. We'll pay you for the video of Steve laughing for 4 minutes. Oh, I would have to ask Steve for permission to do that. I'm sure he probably would be fine with it, but it would also be weird if I was like on my channel just released a video of Steve. It would be kind of a weird thing. It's like, here's a video of not me on my channel. So I probably won't release it, but it is a great video, and it's a little thing for me. Just because it would be a little, like I said, it would be weird if I just put up a video of someone else's videos. And if I even did that, I would have to ask Steve about it. So maybe if I get Steve's permission, maybe I'll share it on a live stream sometime. It might be worth it to do that. I mean, you can get a taste of it from the video. In the video itself, I used elements of it, so you can kind of get an idea of it. Everybody on that podcast has softened him. Oh, Steve will never be softened. I hope he's like as much like I try to be very welcoming and open and kind on my channel, but I personally enjoy Steve's abrasiveness. It also makes me feel very warm and safe, and I like that brand. So yes, Steve is wonderful. And actually, also I'm very well. Yeah, I can't say anything. Never mind. I can't say anything about that yet. So I'll wait for other things before I say anything about something else. Would you watch horror movies in the dark all by yourself? Oh yeah, I do that all the time. You know me, I'm a horror movie aficionado. And so I watch generally, so every Friday night, so I try and watch movies throughout the week. I'm a big movie buff, as you all know. And I'm a big movie buff, as you all know. And I try and watch a movie Friday and Saturday night, and then I watch movies throughout the week, but I always watch a movie Friday evening and Saturday evening. Friday evening, why am I blanking words? Friday evening, I watch usually a horror movie with a friend. Usually my ex. My ex and I are still friends. We still hang out, which is its own emotional wibbly wobbly timey wimey ball. But yes, I do try to. We usually watch a horror movie together. We both love horror movies, and I usually try and watch it in the dark. So yeah, I watch horror movies in the dark. The hard thing is though, I am very much, as many of you know, I'm a very social person, as I talked about in my video. So I like watching movies by myself, but I get very like distracted or kind of sad watching movies by myself unless they're like super engrossing. I love watching movies with other people and laughing at them, making jokes with them and things like that. Even movies that I love. I'm very much an MST3K kind of person when I watch movies. So I like having a movie buddy all the time, which is also part of why I'm really sad about theaters. I hope theaters get saved. We'll see if they're still around, but I will miss theaters quite a bit if they go away. So. In fact, if anyone has any horror movie suggestions, I will always take some horror movie suggestions. I know, sorry, Council of Geeks, I can't tease. The problem with, I know I teased something earlier. It's because it's not mine to tease. It's something else. So I can't say anything. Did you like Brightburn? I liked Brightburn. Also, by the way, Cade MacArthur, what if you dated Bird of Prey 5? I don't know Bird of Prey 5 personally. I mean, we've hung out here on this channel. But I don't know anybody personally, so I don't want to say I would date anybody in the comments or anything like that, just to not make anyone uncomfortable or anything like that. Just so you're aware on that question. Did you like Brightburn? But yes, going back to that movie, I liked Brightburn. I thought it was fine. I just thought there was a lot of missed opportunity with it. It was, I'm trying to remember. I saw it in theaters, so it's been a minute. The concept I think was solid. To do like a horror movie superhero thing. And I actually hope they do more of those because they like teased a cinematic universe of that at the end of that film. But I also feel like there was just a lot of nuance kind of left out of it. It was very much like he's evil and that's it. And I just think there was a little bit more pathos they could have dove into. Like, for example, Homelander and The Boys. The Homelander and The Boys is not played for horror. So it's a slightly different genre. But the thing with Homelander is he is a terrible person, awful person, does awful things. But there is a weird element of humanity to him, not in the sense that it makes you empathize. It doesn't make you like say like, well, I think he's a good person, or there's really a good guy deep down. I don't think there is, but it makes you understand where he's coming from and why he does the things that he does. Like, you learn a lot about his childhood, so it doesn't forgive him as a character for his awful like nationalistic like vibe that he gives off, and the fact that he literally sleeps with a Nazi. So. But I do like that there are not shades of gray, but like there are shades of darkness within there. It's not just like evil. It's a very much more humanized evil. So which makes Homelander even scarier, to be honest. So that was my problem with Brightburn. I think the concept was strong. It was filmed very well. I do like it generally. But I just think it was very much a little bit like, and now he's evil and he's gonna do evil things and kill people. And I think there was a bit, they had set up a much more compelling character than the character ended up being. So, do you know if Star Trek has dental? I mean, the Ferengi definitely have dental, so I would assume there's good dental in the future. The Ferengi definitely, you see like dental work and them like doing stuff with their teeth all the time. I'm trying to think. My teeth are bad, by the way. That's actually like, I shouldn't mention that, but that's my one like really concerned point. I think I have bad teeth. Let's see. Oh, Ready or Not. Oh my gosh, Gretchen Badger. Yes. If you had not seen Ready or Not is one of my favorite horror movies the past few years. Oh my gosh, I adore Ready or Not. Run, run, run. Time to run and hide. Run, run, run. It's just such a great movie. If you're looking for a good horror comedy, Ready or Not is fantastic. Easily one of my favorite horror comedies of the past few years. It's very much, the weird. It's not on the same level because I think this movie is much better. But it very much feels like a Knives Out. If Knives Out was a horror movie, it's kind of got that like class vibe sort of thing. So I would very much like talking about class and things like that. So I would very much recommend Ready or Not if you liked Knives Out and like horror comedy. It's not, like I said, it's not as good as Knives Out, but it's definitely in the same vein as that, and it's definitely very, very, very good. So I would very much recommend it. So. For Ready or Not, the ending on that one was it was a choice. Are you talking about that? You ever consider doing a musical episode? Maybe. I mean, the problem with doing a musical episode is you have to write music. I would love to. I mean, I by no means think I'm the greatest singer in the world, but I think I'm okay at singing when I actually try. But I wouldn't be against doing a musical episode, but I cannot write music for the life of me. So I wouldn't have any idea where to do that. Knives Out isn't a horror. Yeah, it's basically a horror movie. See, I have to go. Well, thank you so much for stopping by Flurkin's Galaxy. But here's a question. Would you rather get a Star Trek show following Captain Riker, Captain Sulu, or Captain Worf? Oof. Good question. I feel like as a character, I probably would like Sulu the best. I don't really love... I know this is going to be a hot take. I don't love Worf all that much. I never really... I mean, Klingons in general... Klingons can be done well. There are a few episodes where I do like the Klingons, but overall as a whole, I find Klingons kind of boring. Probably one of my least favorite... In fact, they are my least favorite of the main races of Star Trek. But... what I was saying... So I wouldn't really want a Worf show. So then it's between Riker and Sulu. And while I think Riker would be a great captain and great lead of a show, and I actually think that he would have all the charisma for it. In fact, if you read the Titan, in fact, if they did like a Titan, like a series based on the Titan books, I would very much love that. And there's an element of me that would like to see a show kind of based in that time zone. In fact, I really hope. In fact, my bet tonight is they seeded this earlier. My bet is that Mike McMahon has been teasing this big like reveal or something happening in the final episode of Lower Decks this season. My guess is it'll probably be the Titan shows up because Jonathan Frakes has done a lot of cameos in all of Star Trek. He works close with the team of the current iteration of Star Trek, and they mentioned the Titan earlier on in this show. So my bet is tonight we'll see the Titan, but we'll see. But I feel like Captain Sulu might be the most interesting, just because he's a character that never got fully developed enough, and I would just love more screen time from him. And George Takei would have been a great lead for a show. The little bits that we see of him in Undiscovered Country in that one episode of Star Trek Voyager flashback, I think he just does a great job. And it also would be an era of Star Trek that we never really got to see much, like the movie era of Star Trek. So I would very much like to see that, to be honest. Oh, that's awesome, Hari. Get back to writing. Well, don't feel bad. I don't want to say, like, if you want to write, you should write more. I mean, you are awesome. I'm sure that you probably did great work. But don't feel bad about that. That wasn't mean, like, get back to work. It was just, like, I'm sure... I was, like, maybe putting my own stuff on you. I sometimes feel like for myself, it's like, oh, I'm not really good, or I haven't done it in a while. So I always, like, my first choice is, like, encourage. But, Hari, that is awesome. I should just say that instead of saying anything else. Apologies. Let's see. Do you dance? I mean, I dance a little bit, not professionally at all, to be fair. I see some people heading out to go to the debate. I'm actually going to be wrapping up soon because I'm going to watch the debate, the VP debate as well. I'm not going to run away just yet because I want to say a few things, but I probably am about to run away as well. Yeah, I feel like Jonathan Frakes would be a really kind. So any last minute questions from people? If anyone has any last minute questions, just let me know. And then I want to just say, kind of reiterating what I said earlier, but I just want to say it again because it really does mean a lot to me. So if anyone has any more questions or anything, Evelyn, well, I hope your drawing has gone well, Evelyn. But, well, if no one has any last minute questions, then I will just say this. The first thing that I want to say, thank you again to everybody who really for any and everything. The first thanks are to all of my existing patrons, and all the people who signed up today for patrons, and all the people who helped by sending donations via PayPal. If you send a message via PayPal, I can't really respond on PayPal, weirdly, but I read all of your messages, and I just want to say thank you all so much for helping me. And something I said in my video earlier, like, I would not have this job. I would not be here and as upbeat and positive as I am without this channel and without everyone supporting me, even if you're just watching my videos, even if you're just like commenting, liking, anything like that. Like, any small bit helps, and I am just so glad and proud and honored to be a part of this community that this channel has slowly built. And I am even more honored by the kindness and the generosity of all of you out there. I am so excited. I'm so excited for this journey that I'm about to take, that I'm going to get out of LA. I'm kind of scared. It's going to be a lot of work over the next few weeks and months. And it may not all pay off. I mean, like I said in the video, the job may not end up being a full-time thing, which is very possible, but I'm willing to take the risk, but I'm only able to take that risk because of all of you. Like, very, very much so. Like, even if that job falls apart, the fact that I have this to fall back on, while it can't pay all my bills now, it gives me some security and gives me the chance to actually follow this chance and this dream job. So deeply, deeply, deeply so. Thank you. I don't want to. I could start crying here on camera, and I don't want to do that right now because then I have to jump from that vulnerable spot to the vice president debate, which would not be great emotionally for me. So I'll try and cut it off there before I start crying. But thank you. I really do appreciate it. You are all wonderful, beautiful, amazing people, and I really do look forward to taking this journey with all of you. And you'll start to see stuff change in the background here. So I love you all, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And stay sane during the VP debate. And Kay MacArthur, I'll answer your question right before I go. Favorite Doctor is David Tennant. Don't tell Council of Geeks. But David Tennant. Adore David Tennant.